How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Staying Focused for Jesus. I've spoken on this a while back, but I felt it was time to do just a refresher on this, because what you've been taught and what you've been shown in history, for the most part, is not correct. A lot of things have been perpetrated one way. Images have been changed to try to hide the identity of people. And people argue about this, or they say it's not true without doing a lick of research. And if they do research, they will, do a few months worth of research, if that. They will do a few hours worth of research. When those of us who are studied and we're actually digging into this, when we are putting out a video, those of us who are true scholars, what we call scholars, researchers, students of the Word of God, students of God's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the information we're putting out is, a lot of times, it is years of research, and we just continue to compile information, compile knowledge and whatnot, until we get to the point where we have enough to make a case. In the same way, when you are bringing charges against somebody, you build a case up, especially like in, let's say, racketeering or money laundering. They don't just come out and because they have a so-called accusation against somebody and say, yeah, we're going to take them to court. They build a case against that person. So when they go to court, it will most likely stick. Or when they try to, when they go to file a warrant, then the judge will issue the warrant for their arrest, because the evidence is enough evidence for the judge to say, or the judge to issue a warrant. It's the same thing. I keep on telling y'all, we're in court. You are in court right now. So when I make a video, please know that I have the information, and you guys and girls, you see me show it in the videos, but that's only a fraction of the things that I do have. I can't put everything in a video. I don't have the time to do it, and also my videos are already pretty long. So I try to break it down as much as I can, but I know I have to get this information out, so my videos do end up being longer, and I try to break it down point by point by point, pretty much like A to Z, where a child could understand it. So in regards to this topic about King James and his family, and they being what we call people of color, before I was able to bring that case in court before you all, I had to compile enough evidence to bring it before the judge, and to issue, and y'all bear with me, a warrant for the arrest of this man and the imposters who have done this, the perpetrators who have done this. Because when you type in King James, this is the image that you're going to get. This is the popular image you're going to get. We click on images, you see? So if I can show you something that contradicts this, then the question you have to ask yourself, and what you have to decide is this the real image, or are the other images I'm going to show you, are they the real images? And if this is the real image, you have to ask yourself, well, why are the other images out there? And if this isn't the real image, then you have to ask yourself, why did they change the original images to these images? It's simple. We got to start taking stuff serious. This is not a game. I keep on telling y'all, we are literally in court. So I've compiled enough evidence to bring this to court, to bring these people to trial. So we want to go to my my OneDrive, my Google OneDrive, and if you go on my website, there are links to my staying focused for Jesus. Matter of fact, let me see if I can close this real quick. Staying focused for Jesus, download links, and it will have all type of things on different type of topics. And I'm updating this on a regular basis. And you can find a link to this on my website, stayingfocusedforjesus.life. And it should be in the left-hand corner at the top on the drop-down menu. And then it will take you to this, so you can scroll through here and and check stuff out. Some of it has a lot of stuff in it, some of it doesn't have a lot, but it takes time to build this. So we want to focus on King James was black, because the images that we see is of a white King James. So we want to see what evidence we do have. So this is an image of King James. It's actually a portrait. It's a portrait, that was painted of him. That can be confirmed. This is a book, King James and the Reunion of Christendom, Cambridge Studies in Early Modern British History by W.B. Patterson. You can buy this book. This is the actual portrait of King James. This is a real portrait. So why did they use this portrait? Because they know, and you know how Cambridge is about the Bible and stuff like that. They know these things, but they're not going to put it out in the public. It's not really for public consumption, because the majority of people, they don't care. And also they don't want people to know, because they have their ulterior motives and stuff. So this is another book by Stephen A. Costin Sr., from the author of King James Unjustly Accused, because people, King James was a white sodomite. That's not true. That is a blatant blasphemous lie. That's slander. And anybody partaking of that, you will be held accountable by God, especially with you knowing the truth. Now, when you were doing something in ignorance, that's different. But now the truth is coming out. So King James and papal opposition. King James did not support the Roman Catholic Church. He was 100% against it. People like to bring up the quote about King James saying that he was a Catholic. When he was talking about he was a Catholic, he was referring to what the term Catholic means, universal. He was not referring to the Roman Catholic Church. Universal meaning you have different members of the body of Christ scattered around the world, all playing a part. Yet we are still universal. We are still united together no matter where we are at. So you can clearly see that they made one guy what we call tawny. Tawny means dark brown or tan. And the other guy is what we call white. The Pope during that time period. I mean, that's not hard to see. What we call a so-called black man and so-called white man. These people know this. But we sit here and argue and say, it doesn't matter, you're causing division. But guess what? You're absolutely right. I'm causing righteous division. I'm fulfilling the word of God. Because Jesus said that, think not that I've come to bring peace on earth. I come not to bring peace on earth, but I came to bring a sword. I came to bring division. To see who was going to stand up for the truth. Because no truth is of a lie. No lie is of the truth. You can't have it both ways and say that King James was black. Oh yeah, and King James was white like this. That's two different people. So it does matter. It only doesn't matter to those who try to make it seem like it doesn't matter, because they have something going on in their heart. If he was white, guess what? He was white. I don't care. I don't care if he was white or black, but truth is truth. So the bigger thing is, if we can prove that he was a man of color, why did they change him into what we call the so-called white man? When the historical evidence is overwhelming, you just have to look for it. And not just do a few hours on or 30 minutes on, the first few pages of Google, the popular stuff that's going to pop up. Come on, you know how many pages you had to dig through to find some of this stuff? So Elizabeth of Bohemia, daughter of King James, mother of Anne of Denmark. This is King James' daughter. This is a coin with his daughter on here. Now you go look up his daughter, you're not going to see this. Matter of fact, let's go do it. Elizabeth of Bohemia. Let's see what pops up. That doesn't look nothing like the same woman on that coin. Nothing like that woman. Like, come on, y'all. But I'm the one that's causing division because I'm speaking the truth. So you're saying that you hate me for telling you the truth. You hate the fact that King James was what we call a black man. You hate that his daughter was black. I wonder why. Because you don't love your neighbor, you love yourself. Because that's just wrong. You wouldn't want me to do your family like that, but it's okay to do my physical family like that. It's okay to do your family like that too, because if you are in Christ, Israel is your family too. So it's not okay to do your family like that, your physical family, but it's okay to do King James and his family like that. When clearly that is not the same woman. I mean, my baby could see that. That's not the same woman. This is King James' daughter on a coin. And we just can't go by a coin. We gotta look at the rest of the evidence too. It talks about the Stuart dynasty. When you look at the Stuart, it means swarthy, which means black. We covered that in the other video. Now this is the actual book. Look how old the book is. I'm going to show y'all why it's so hard to find this. Because somebody would say, well, where's the book? Where's the book? I'm going to show you why. They know. I'm going to show you why. Somebody has this book. I don't know who has it. If anybody has this book, I would love to talk to you. I would love to get you on video or get you recording this book and showing people this. I don't have the actual book, but I do have the PDF book. And I'm going to show you that. But this is the actual book. It's from this book in regards to the works of King James. This is the actual portrait that you saw on the other picture that they used. This is a real live portrait of King James that was painted of him. Another shot of it. This is again a real live book. You see how old the book is. This ain't no new stuff like this. This ain't no whitewashing. And you can order this picture from the gallery. That's a close-up. So we have from this website, they were talking about it, and it was focused on Shakespeare, because Shakespeare was around the time of King James. So it says right here, to her credit, Queen Elizabeth seems to have been somewhat more level-headed about such matters than her successor, King James. James was timid, sniveling, superstitious, and such a wimp that he reportedly wore extra thick royal robes in hopes of staving off the blade of any potential murderer. Whether he might have used the new Shakespearean word assassination after first hearing it in Macbeth is mere conjecture. So they were trying to say that he was superstitious. No, he wasn't superstitious because they were trying to kill him. I would have been, feeling some type of way too if I know folks out to kill me. So he wore extra thick royal robes, so if somebody tried to walk up and stab him, that the knife wouldn't go through. I mean, the man was protecting himself. the gun plot, the gun plot powder, the gunpowder plot. Excuse me. They tried to have the man killed. I wonder why. I wonder why. So if we go right here, it says other works. Let's go back up. It said pictured above from the collection of Agecroft Hall is a copy of the works of the Most High and Mighty Prince James. This particular copy was printed within several years after Shakespeare's death in 1616, around the same time as what God commissioned him to transliterate the scriptures into English so it could be in the hands of everyday people. But for some reason, people speak against the King James when King James was fighting against the Roman Catholic Church, because the Roman Catholic Church and the other people during that time period, they didn't want the scriptures in the hands of the people. They wanted to retain the power. But King James wanted to distribute the word, fulfilling the word of God to all people so they could read it for themselves. But this is the white man's book, white man's religion. It was a bad man though. The book is turned to the title page of James' essay on demonology, excuse me, which he had written prior to his ascension to the English throne upon the death of Elizabeth in 1603. His fascination with witchcraft was well known by then. He wasn't fascinated with witchcraft. He just wanted an understanding of what was going on. Now, we'll talk about that another time, because you just gotta be able to discern what people are saying and what really happened by studying history. There's a general consensus among Shakespearean scholars that the playwright wrote Macbeth with an eye and an ear toward appealing to the new monarch with a play that both flatters his Scottish royal ancestors and indulges the fears and superstitions that haunted the king's dark side. So he had Scottish royal ancestors. He had Scottish royal ancestors, and you can go study that in regards to the ancient Scottish. These right here are some of my people too, because my name Kelson is actually a Scottish name. It's actually Scottish. Son of Kelson, son of Kel, one who dwells by the river. Then my middle name is ties directly in with my first name also, which is Delta, which is a delta. And I cover that in another video. But you can go look it up and you can see that Kelson, which is son of Kel, is a Scottish name. Other works by James include, in this folio-sized volume, are his A Counter Blast to Tobacco, in which it's hard to see, y'all, so y'all bear with me, excoriates the new Virginia-born habit of smoking tobacco in pipes. So he was against smoking tobacco. His A Discourse of the Powder Treason, in which he attributes his survival of the gunpowder plot to divine intervention. So he was giving glory to the Lord. He was giving glory to the Lord, because they tried to have this man killed. His A Defense of the Right of Kings, which his son and successor Charles, we're going to see him, I would take much too seriously and lose his head over. King James had a pronounced literary bent. Shakespeare probably regarded that as not altogether a bad thing in a king. So that's the actual picture of him. You see the man's hand right there showing the picture of it. So this is real. Nothing that, oh, you're making it up, man. Where you getting this from? I'm showing you where I'm getting it from. So this is the actual website, National Portrait Gallery. That image, it tells you who it is. This is King James. King James, probably his middle years. probably like late 30s, going into the 40s. That's him right there. Looks completely different from the guy that we saw, doesn't it? I wonder why. Some more images. Okay, so this is an email that I sent in regard to this book. I said, "Good day. I was wondering if you could help me locate the book in the following link. Thank you kindly." And it's that same book where we saw the picture of him at. Now watch this. Kelson King. So this is me. Kelson King, 1616 Works of King James. So this is a legit book. And this email is old. I sent this email like maybe, I know it was over a year ago, but it could be longer than that. Kelson King, yes, we have sold 2 copies of the 1616 Works of King Prince James over the past several years. So this is a very, very, very rare book. That is a high demand item, which is no surprise when you consider that the King James Bible is the most printed, most loved, most influential book in the history of civilization, with first editions of that 1611 Bible fetching hundreds of thousands of dollars. So even the original ones, you can't even get the original ones. So people say, "Oh, where's the original?" You can't buy original Bibles because they cost so much unless you got the money. But guess what? This book with the portrait of King James, the original, it's a high demand item. So everybody can't get their hands on it because we don't have the money to get it. So we gotta use what we got, which is, you know what I'm saying, we gotta follow the paper trail. And it says, in this printing of the complete works of King James, published just 5 years later in 1616, is the only such edition of his other efforts. Now watch this. In past years, depending upon the condition of the book and the elaborateness of the binding, these very rare 1616 printings have sold for as little as $6,500 and as much as $12,000. Y'all gonna give me $6,000 or $12,000 to buy this book? No, you're not gonna give it to me. You're not gonna give me that money. So guess what? We gotta deal with the evidence that we do have. And here's the evidence. This book is legit. This book is a high demand item, and this book is very expensive. And he's going to tell us that this is actually low for what it usually goes for. That is actually quite surprising itself, as one might expect that book to fetch 5 times that amount, but the market says otherwise. So this book should go for almost what $40,000, $50,000. Come on now. This is why you don't have the book, because the book is so dang expensive. They make it that expensive because they don't want people to know. So I don't want to hear nobody talking about that this book isn't legit and that's not the real image of King James. It is. Proving it over and over again. The book is legit. The image, the portrait is the literal portrait that was painted. I forgot the guy's name that painted the portrait of King James. It says we can certainly perform a global dealer network search for this item for you, and at no obligation or cost to you. But before we do that, I will ask that you please provide us with a contact phone number and your confirmation that are looking to purchase an item in that expected price range of several $1,000s at this time. So he pretty much says, hey, you know, if you're serious about it, then you know, we can make it happen. These dudes, this is what they deal in. They deal in rare books. So the evidence speaks for itself. All these people, oh, whatever. Keep on believing what you want to believe. And here's the actual book. Works of the Most High and Mighty Prince James. This is from the Ballman Rare Books. This is the website that I sent him to. We're sorry, this item has been sold. That's the book, and it actually shows the portrait inside the book of King James. So King James was a man of color. He was a black man. A close-up of it. And then it gives you a breakdown of what the book is. The works of the Most High and Mighty, Prince James, London, Robert Barker, and John Bill, 1616. And they give you some information about it. First edition of the collected works of James I with splendid copper engraved frontispiece portrait. That's the guy right here, Simon Pass, of James enthroned in the robes of state, and elaborately engraved additional title page by Elstrack. A handsome copy, so a good looking copy. And it tells you who he is. This is him. And the rest of his works. So this is a legit picture of King James, a so-called black man. It tells you who painted the image with splendid copper engraved frontispiece portrait by Simon Pass. So this is engraved in copper. So somewhere in the world, somebody has the original of this. Somebody has the copper engraved image of this. So unless you're going to say that these people didn't, King James wasn't real and all this isn't real, then you got problems. Just deal with it. This is the truth. I'm going to do some more research on this guy, Simon Pass. Another website. This is on the Cambridge University Library. And they have the same picture. King James I as depicted in the frontispiece to his collected works, published in 1616. So what are people talking about? Nothing. They ain't talking about nothing. Let's go check out his son. Let's go check out his son. So this is King Charles I of England, House of Stuart. House of Stuart. Remember his daughter, Stuart? This was a book titled Leviathan, written by Thomas Hobbes in 1651. This is the front of the book. This is the front of the book. This is a close-up of King Charles, King James' son. This is the modern version of that book. Notice the difference? Two different people. Same book, Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes. They changed the cover of it. They changed the man that was up here. They changed his face. They kept his hair and stuff, kind of, sort of, but they changed his image. They changed his image. This is another copy. The face of King Charles I of England, House of Stuart, executed in 1649 after the Second English Civil War. The original front cover of the book Leviathan, written by Thomas Hobbes and published in 1651. Later supporters of the Black Stuarts were called Jacobites or Jacobites. Boom. Evidence speaks for itself. There's another close-up. Boom. Like, come on, y'all. Like, it is what it is. When you go look it up on Wikipedia, they even have the original image. So you see that King James was a man of color. His daughter was a man of color. His son was a man of color. His wife was a woman of color. These are what we call black people. But somebody would still sit there and say, and you know, on in regards to whites, all this nothing, and you will still have blacks, the white man, the white man, the white man. King James was a white sodomite. Blah 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 blah. Judgment Day is coming. So now we want to go look at the actual book. Yeah, I got the book. I don't have the hard copy, but I have the book. I have the PDF format. So let's look at the PDF format of this book, and let's see if that image is in the PDF format. And we're just gonna go through it and see what it shows us. So as you see, this is the digitally scanned version of the book, and it tells you what it is. This is the actual book. A collection of His Majesty's works. Oh, what do we have here? This is an actual digitally scanned copy of the portrait that's in the actual book that was commissioned by King James to be put in his own works. See if I can zoom in on this. See if I can zoom in. There you have it. There you have it. So all this, oh, you're making this up, you're making this up. No, y'all are making it up. You're making up lies because you don't want to accept the truth. I mean, how much more evidence do you need? Oh, but there's more. I'm not going to give it right now, but I'll give it at a later time. Digitized by the Internet Archive in 2013. So they're just now putting it out not too long ago. So again, these people knew about this. They been knew this. But God said that in the last days that knowledge would increase. By the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, Ireland, defender of the faith. King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland. Remember what Benjamin Franklin said. He said that France and all these other places, they were what? Black and tawny. Remember we did that previous video. Published by James, Bishop of Winston, and it's kind of hard to read it, but y'all see what it says. Printed by Robert Barker and John Beale, printers to the kings and excellent majesties. So same thing we just read in the other picture. Same thing. Interesting because I use this as my my family crest. I use this as a basis of my family crest. I made some changes in here and stuff like that, but I use this as the basis of my family crest. Coincidence? And I'm just now seeing, literally, I'm just now seeing this image in this book. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close the video out. The evidence speaks for itself. You just gotta understand. You gotta allow yourself to be led by the Spirit. So God bless each and every one of you in Jesus Christ's name. As always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, truth is not debated, it is declared. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If it was edifying to you, be sure to do your part and share it on all your social media outlets, websites, and forums. Your help is greatly appreciated. to help fight this war and reach lost souls. Don't forget to like, dislike, and or subscribe. Be sure to also check out our website, stayingfocusedforjesus.life. And make sure you check out that resource section, which has a lot of videos that I share and some other stuff. Books, documents, PDF, websites, many things, and it's growing daily as I add to it. Also follow us on Facebook for even more content. Staying Focused for Jesus on Facebook.
Because you say I am rich and increased with goods and am need of nothing. And no, you are wretched and miserable, poor, blind and naked. So then because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, Jesus said that he would spit you out of his mouth. Stop playing church. We become something else, something worse, something more like the world. Where is the church? We become something else, neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm church. Jesus said, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that you may be rich, clothed in white raiment to hide the shame of your nakedness. So then because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, Jesus said that he would spit you out of his mouth. Stop playing church. We become something else, something worse, something more like the world. Where is the church? We become something else, neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm church. You say you a Christian, living like a child to hell. You a Christian, go to church, say the sinner's prayer. You a Christian, stay getting high, getting throwed, Monday through Saturday, anything go, Caught up in the world and left your first love. Jesus died in your place, he shed his precious blood. But you gotta be seen, pastor, apostle. Wake up, church, time to go and preach the gospel.